welcome back to Oathbound Gaming, or the Nekrage channel, wherever you're watching this video at. It's going to be posted in both locations. This video is all about the Season of Mastery Molten core changes, alright? So if you don't know what Season of Mastery is, take a look at my previous videos. I've done a video on what the heck the Season of Mastery is. Take a look at that. We'll talk about the specifics of it. You guys know what it is, but let's jump into Molten core. Let's do this. Let's jump into the strategies, starting with Lucifron. Our first boss, Lucifron. Notice right away there's 2 additional ads. So bring some extra tanks. Guess what? They also cast the mind control. If you forgot, Lucy doesn't cast the mind control. The ads do. So more ads, more mind controls. So be very quick on those dispels, priests, please. That hurts. You can cleave down and AoE down your mind control targets accidentally. You know how that goes, right? We've all seen that. So more ads, more stuff to tank, more damage on tanks, more things to kill before you even jump on Lucy, which of course now has double the health. All of the bosses we're going to cover today in Molten core have double the health. Those ads do as well. So the fight can get a little crazy, a little rough. But it's not too bad. Nothing like our next boss, Magmadar, right? Let's jump ahead to Magmadar. You guys know Magmadar, right? Big fire dog, he fears the raid, fire patches on the ground, right? Double the health, of course, in Season of Mastery. What else does he do? What does he do? Well, you might notice something during this fight right there. You see that in the background? He summons ads. He summons little core pups. The core hounds over there. And they work just like the core hounds before you get to Magmadar. You know the ones you gotta clear, you gotta kill at the same time? They work the same way. Now the problem here is, he will continue to summon more. And if those core hounds are killed, those 2 there, and he summons new ones, they will reignite and bring back, you know, the previous core hounds you killed. They will revive. My suggestion, we were the first guild to kill Magmadar, do not focus the core hounds. Kill Magmadar. Manage it. And again, additional tanks on this fight, right? I'm telling you, if you're guild leaders, if you're making your raid comp, you're thinking about how you want to formulate your raid, how many tanks we want, consider 4. Consider it. I'll tell you that right now. There's some additions and changes to fights that would really, as you can see, would justify the need for additional tanks. This fight is very, very difficult, and most guilds skip him during the beta. Most guilds just skipped Magmadar because he was just pretty damn difficult. I know it doesn't look like much, but it's quickly overwhelming. And I know this is a failed attempt. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit during this clip. I'm going to show you guys how quick you can get overwhelmed in this fight. The tank damage is insane. Talk about 10 bleed stacks. Look at the debuff up at the top right a little bit near the mini-map. We got 10 bleeds on there. These dogs can go wild real fast, and one of the other issues is Magmadar will fear tanks, and if you fear tanks like that, these ads can run off. So tanks really have to be careful of that. We have to have Tremor Totems down, Fear Ward if you're Alliance, break that with Berserker's Rage, break those fears. And it can get real hectic real fast. We do end up killing him in another clip, but that's for another video when we're showing off. Let's go to the next boss. Gehennis. Guess what? Yep, more ads. 4 ads, just like Lucifron, so he's got more friends as well. So, tanks, pop your free action potions on cooldown because these ads stun like crazy. They stun a lot, and you need those free actions. I highly recommend stacking maybe the first 2 ads when your DPS is a little bit low. Killing them, watch out for the Ring of Fires, get those decurses so people can receive their heals, because that reduces healing received. But if you stack the ads like we're doing here, it gets a little dangerous because they do cleave. And when people run out of their free action potions, it only lasts 30 seconds when it wears off. These ads are doing this AoE stun. You see the raid stunned right now? The more you stack them, the more stuns, right? So it gets pretty bad. Take a look at the stuns right now. We're stunned again right now, right? We just got out of stun. We're going to fight the next Flame Waker ad. Stunned again. Got out. There's cleaves going around. Luckily, they don't hit too hard, but you do have to pick them up quickly. Now we're out of our stun. We're going to DPS. Stunned again. As you can see, there's a lot of stuns, so free action potions on pull is extremely important tanks. Make sure you're using them. Melee DPS, obviously you want them as well, but tanks even more important than the melee DPS. You gotta pick up those adds. So again, a fight that really justifies the use of additional tanks. Alright, let's move on. We do kill him, by the way. One shot at him. One shot Lucy, one shot Gehennis. Magmadar took like 5-6 attempts. Alright, moving on. Gar. Alright, what's different in Gar fight? Well, he's got the same amount of adds, luckily, right? So, we don't have, I don't know, double the amount of adds. That would be a little ridiculous on Gar. But what does he have? I'll show you something. Does he have any other friends hidden away? Yes, he does. It's not more adds, but I'm going to show you something. You might notice, what the heck just knocked all those guys back, right? Take a look at the bottom of Gar. Very bottom of him, take a look at it. See that? Magmakin. He will spawn these very small little adds, but you don't kill them, you don't DPS them, you don't tank them. They spawn and they rush at a random target and explode. They do damage and they'll knock everyone back. It'll interrupt cast, obviously. So you want to make sure you spread your raid out a good amount, because if you stack all your healers in one place and they're constantly getting thrown around, that's pretty bad. So you'll notice that there's a healer on the left, really good healer in the guild. He's putting his back to the wall. If he gets knocked back, it's not going to throw him back as far, and he'll be able to recover much, much quicker, right? What else? Anything else? Yes. When Gar gets low on health, I believe it's 50%, pretty sure it is, he will start blowing up his adds that are not already dead, right? If they're not dead, he will start kind of like expunging them in a way, just detonating them. So I highly recommend killing the adds, because he will also make them banish immune. Yep. So you will have to kill the adds. We have them banished, as you can see, just like we normally do. We're killing them kind of one at a time, picking a kill spot over there. But eventually they will become immune to banish, so you do kill them. I would highly recommend killing them before getting Gar crazy low in health, because it gets a lot more risky. So as the banishes break, kill them. You don't want them all to become banish immune at the same time. There's 4 or 5 of them running around, right? So the safer route is definitely to kill them. Alright, moving on to Baron. Alright, let's do this. Alright, Baron Geddon. This is about, well, Baron's at 45% health, and things are going kind of well. Living Bomb. Notice that in the middle of the screen? 3 different people will get Living Bomb at the same time. Every time he throws out a bomb, it's on 3 people. So you have to pay attention. No dropping bombs in raids, right? Additionally, you might notice there's flame patches on the ground. What the hell is that? Well, he leaves flame patches in 2 different ways. That Inferno that Melee has to run out on, that pulses, right? You'll see the big patches on the ground. You'll notice we're in Gar's room, right? We pull back so we have a lot of room to kite him in circles around the room. Otherwise, we won't have the space to fight him. Additionally, smaller patches of flame, like you see over here nearby, are on the ground from bombs that explode. So when you get thrown up in the air with the bomb and you land, there's going to be a fire patch on the ground. You have to move very quickly. So the fight gets hectic. The fight took us quite a few attempts, and it was overall much more difficult than the original fight. I would say this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a tough one for a lot of guilds to get through at the beginning. But no sleeping on the job. Don't sleep with the Baron Bomb. Don't drop it in the raid. And make sure you kind of treat this like a Globulus fight, where you keep them on the move and you're kind of moving them around, right? But the patches do not disappear. So you have to kill him. Now you'll notice 10% health, he'll use Armageddon. And he's got a couple seconds left. When he uses Armageddon, he will explode for massive amounts of damage. I'm talking about 80,000 damage, and it'll kill everyone. You can resist it, but it will kill everyone. We end up finally taking him down. This is maybe our 6th, 7th attempt. It was tough. So you, at 10%, you need to kill him very quickly. You need to DPS very strongly. Here is a huge tip that wiped us once. Pay attention. It is very important that you do not push Baron to 10% health when he's standing in the Inferno ground. If he does an Inferno, and then you push him to 10%, he's standing on there, you're pretty much screwed if you have a lot of melee. There's a lot of mechanics in the new Molten Core that kind of make melee a little bit more, I don't know, less warranted, I suppose. But enough. Let's jump to Shazra. Enough of Shazra. Better have your arcane protection potions up. So, what does he do different? He's got his curses up. That's normal, right? He's doing arcane explosions. We want to decurse. We want to purge him because he still throws up his magic damage reduction. What does he do that's new? Anything? He looks pretty basic, right? 78% health, 75, still hasn't done anything new. Maybe he's completely the same. Wrong. So, when he uses his teleport, he will leave Image of Shazra. And it will spam arcane explosions. So, you can kill the image if you want to. But they have about 7% of Shazra's health. So for every image you kill, you could have done 7% of Shazra's health. So we said, you know what? Stick to Shazra. Let's kill him. Focus all DPS on Shazra. Let's see how this turns out. And every time he teleports, there's another image in its place. And it will continue to explode. It's very important that tanks pick Shazra up. Tanks, why aren't you taunting? Guess what? He's now immune to taunt. You want a tip, guys? You want a tip out there? Here's a tip for you. Get Rage before the teleport. So tanks, it's okay to go in early with Shazra as the main tank goes in. Just white hit. Get that rage, get the rage you need, and then go back to your groups. As soon as Shazra teleports, he is going to wipe all threat. You need to dump that threat. You need to punch that, alright? Don't hold back. If you're full prot, which is now more justified, by the way, you got a shield slam, get that heroic strike queued up. You should be spamming heroic strike and Sunder, just waiting for him to do that teleport. And just make sure you output that threat to pick him up, because he is now immune to taunt. Definitely makes it harder for tanks to pick it up. But you'll see we lost a good portion of our raid at this point, and we're kind of running out of room here. But you can lock yourself in. If you ran the other way, like one of our raid members did, they'll lock themselves behind these images and won't be able to safely make it by. And when you're running through like 2 images, you're dead. If you don't have an arcane protection potion, you're probably not going to make it through. Unless maybe you got sprint, blink, you know, something like that. But you can definitely lock yourself in. You're going to notice I'm running towards the group because one of our off tanks, Spooky, was able to pick it up. He's tanking him, waiting. Shazra is now going to teleport to this tunnel. I'm going to dump as much rage as I can to try to pick him up. And you'll see some good crits. There's a dodge there. Good crits. Still hard to pick him up. Very difficult. So guys, one of the mistakes at this point here was a guild member that had, or might have been a pug member, we have a couple pugs in here at this point, ran with the group. If you have aggro with Shazra, you're better off sacrificing yourself and trying to stay in the spot, go towards the tank, and just try to hold Shazra while everyone else runs. So, for instance, like right here, no tank is able to pick him up here, unfortunately, but we have a DPS warrior that picks him up and holds him a bit, but he holds them there rather than running it with the group. Very important, because if you do that, you're going to kill everyone, right? So this was a tough fight. It took some learning. It definitely took some work to get used to this dude, but we do end up killing him. If I fast forward a little bit, most of our raid is dead, as you can see, when we do actually successfully take out Shazra. Die. There we go. It's a tough fight. Alright, let's move on. Let's do this. Who's next? Alright, Sulfuron. Now keep in mind, we are the first guild to do some of these fights, most of these fights, and Sulfuron was one of them. And we're trying to learn on the fly here. This is our first pull on Sulfuron, and we're like, okay, let's go with the normal strat, where we have our tanks hold them. We're not going to go with the speedrun strat, we're not going to AoE. We're going to try to pull these Flame Wakers back and line of sight them from the enemy healers, right? From the other ones. So there's no additional adds. There's still 5 total units, total targets, you know, one of them being the boss and 4 adds. So we pulled this Flame Waker back to kill him. Take a look at his health. Very high for an add, right? Very high. Well, I'm going to fast forward a bit here for you guys, and you're going to notice, okay, we're focusing the add, and at one point during the fight, I take a look at the boss, Sulfuron, and I'm like, why is he losing so much health? Well, all of their health pools are linked, so you cannot kill any adds at all, because once you kill them, everything in the fight's dead. So it's a large health pool for everyone. which means you need to interrupt the heals. You need to have interrupts on each of these targets, because if one of them gets a heal on any target in the fight, it's going to heal everyone, right? Because they all share health. So any heal on any target heals them all. This fight was it's so incredibly easy that Blizzard actually changed this fight already. One of the things they changed is these ads, they cast Inspire on each other if they're close by, which buffs them, makes them do incredible damage, so you do want to split the ads up to the best of your ability. You want to split them up best you can. So again, a fight that justifies more tanks. 4 tanks in a raid comp is not unheard of now, I'm telling you. So that was our first pull. We were really shocked to kill him on the first pull. We were like, what the heck was that? That was stupid easy. So before they made that change, you were actually better off stacking them together and just AoEing. You were better off. But Blizzard actually made a good change here, and they said, this is too easy. We're going to make them buff each other if they're nearby. So you kind of want to spread them out and not AoE at all. Hopefully you guys have good kicks with your rogues, good pummels with your warriors, because there's a lot of heals that go off during that fight. Make sure to interrupt them. Alright, moving on to Alright, Golmag. I also have a friend with me this time. Everyone meet Spinooch. This is Spinooch! So the 2 ads in Golmag still exist. It's 2 core ragers. Obviously you want tanks to tank them, right? You want them to pull them away. Guess what? They no longer drop their damage buff if you pull them far away from Golmag. It doesn't matter how far you pull them away, but they will throw bleeds on people if they're nearby. So you do want to get them out of the group, you want to get them away. You don't really want to pull them through people, otherwise they'll get the bleeds. And healers, just stay away from them. There's no reason for you to stand close nearby. It's not worth messing with them. You'll get those bleeds. Now, the Magma Splash, that is a debuff, right? You'll see I have 3 stacks on me right now. That thing is deadly now. It always reduced armor on tanks, but now it's like double the amount. Instead of like 250 per stack, it's 500 per stack. It gets bad. It gets really bad on tanks. Additionally, Golmag will do his Earthquake throughout the fight. He'll do his little stomp, his little Earthquake, so melee will take more damage. Also, that Magma Splash debuff will kill melee. Take a look at the raid real quick. Take a look at the raid frames. Look at the rogue called Coney Hawk. Coney, if you see this video, it's not a shout out at you, I'm not trying to talk crap, but Coney goes big DPS, he does his best, he tries to do as much damage as possible, right? Forgets to watch his stacks in this fight. And you'll see his damage starts being almost too much to handle at some point. It gets really, really high. Now, he was lucky enough to drop his stacks, he got out, he let it drop, but then he goes back in, he goes real hard. And just take a look at Coney's health real quick, I fast forward a little bit. He's gonna be unlucky enough to get a lot of the stacks. Now, if you guys that know Golmag well, the more people hitting it, the less likely that the same target gets it. But Coney starts requiring a fair amount of heals as he gets very high in these stacks. So the fire protection potions can save you, as well as, you know, it'll reduce the damage, make it a little bit easier for the healers to keep you up. But tanks you do want to be swapping because of that debuff. Now, tip for the tanks. Tank tip. I don't know, what do we call it? Nekrage's tank tips. Don't hit Golmag if you're not tanking. Just wait. Wait. And the reason for that is you don't want to get Magma Splash stacks when it's your turn to pick it up. You don't want to be getting, right? You don't want to be getting unnecessary stacks or refreshing your debuffs. You'll see I drop mine, try to taunt, get a taunt resist. So Bath is still tanking him, but he loses him because unfortunately he dies. But Golmag drops to me. I pick him up, hold him. So relatively the same fight, you'll see there's the earthquakes going off, knocking people down. Fight's pretty similar. Just gotta really watch those debuffs melee, be careful. And unfortunately, this is another fight that kind of really screws melee. You'll notice that a lot in the Molten Core, and of course in Onyxia, during, you know, flight and stuff like that. Just fights are not really the most friendly to melee right now, and it's almost a shame, because now comps is trying to start going a little bit more range oriented, and hopefully we see that change a little bit, because it's really one-sided, really pushed towards range right now. Fast forwarding a little bit, and we see the death of Golmag. So the fight was relatively simple. When you compare it to Magmadar, Golmag is a joke. Magmadar, Baron, Shazra, Golmag's a joke. But alright, let's move on to Major Domo Executus. Alright, Major Domo. Any more ads? No, same amount, thank God. Alright, so we do have hunters kiting 2 ads right now away, and I'm going to tank Major Domo while everyone focuses Skull and kills it. So our goal is going to be to kill Skull, then X, but does it always go according to plan in Domo? Not always. We'll see what happens, right? So the ads have a ton more health now, as like every boss thing does. Oh, by the way, I should have mentioned this in the video in the beginning. Originally, they doubled the health of all trash mobs as well. They removed that, so trash has normal health now. Good job, Blizzard, because it was a kind of like a slog to get through, I guess, right? Like very slow, lots of trash, lots of health, kind of sucked. But anyway, on to Major Domo. You'll see with Skull's down, green breaks loose, and we say, hey, just pick it up. That'll be our next kill target, right? We have purple break loose. Domo unfortunately drops threat, gets away from me. End up picking him up again, and we're bringing him in. We have our sheeps down. Now we're going to fast forward just a little bit, and we're going to see X go down next, right? So watch as X dies. All sheeps break. So you used to be able to kill 4 of Domo's ads before sheeps before the healers became unsheepable, right? They gained their immunity when 4 died. Now it's 2. 2 ads equals immunity. So guess what? More tanks. Still a good idea to have a raid comp with 4 tanks. Highly recommended at least 4 tanks. I probably wouldn't do 5, but 4 tanks is a good move, guys. I'm telling you. I'm trying to help you out here, alright? Consider the 4 tanks thing. It will help you immensely. Alright. Let's move on to Ragnaros. Ragnaros. Alright, so on the very top of the screen, right away you're going to notice you have 1 hour to kill Rag. As soon as you start the fight, the timer starts, you have 1 hour to kill him. It's about 3 attempts. So, be quick. If you wipe, come back, try it again. So, Ragnaros, what changes on this fight, other than that 1 hour thing? Well, the fight is relatively the same until 50% health. Ready? So we're going to get him to 50% health. We're going... He's got double health, right? So he's got 2.2 mil, as all bosses, again, have double health in Season of Mastery right now, in the Molten Core at least. We're going to get him to 50% health. This is our first attempt, and we're like, what happens? As soon as he gets to 50% health, he submerges. So you can no longer skip all submerges. You will always get at least 1 submerge at 50%. Suns come out. Typical normal Suns phase, you know, gather them up, hunter traps, use blizzards, slow them, war stomps if you're Taurens, whatever you got, stuns, slows, rally them up, try to AoE them down, get them down, and when the last sun dies, Ragnaros will come back up. He will emerge again. Boom, here we go. Now, as soon as he emerges, a submerge timer starts. Timer. Right? So the first submerge is 50%. Then there's a timer. So you can completely avoid the second submerge if you kill him before he does submerge, right? But there's one other change here, right? So there's something else other than the guarantee submerge. 30% health, right? We're about to get him to 30%. What's going to happen? What's going to happen, guys? Guesses? It can't be like ads or something, right? They haven't been doing that non-stop, right? Yeah, it is. So, look behind Rag over there. You'll see a sun just spawned and is running through the raid. So we have to pick him up with tanks. At 30%, he will start spawning those Son of Flames. So you have them running around as well. You can choose to kill him if you want, or you can have tanks pick him up and just hold him while you DPS Rag and hopefully kill him before the next submerge. That is my tip. Do that. Do that. Do that. Don't kill the ads. Focus Rag. And hopefully you have a lot of range DPS in your raid, because stacking melee on this fight is also bad. Because they get knocked out, you know how Rag works, right? So, again, Season of Mastery. Right now, Molten Core and Oni, just anti-melee. It's not a good thing for them, but hey, trying to help you guys out here. Hopefully you gain some tips from this video. You can see what these bosses do. Hopefully this helps you guys strategize and build your raid comp and how you're going to tackle each boss and maybe you're excited for this, because Season Mastery is a lot more difficult, a lot more fun, and we were having a blast playing this. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see anything else, please let me know. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Hit up our guild. Look down below for the video. We're recruiting some people. Hit us up if you need a guild, alright? See you for Friday night raids. Catch you guys in the next video. Skidda!